Welcome back again, everybody. You already know what this is. Welcome back to Combat and Kick It. This weekend wasn't just UFC 314. We also had the UFC 316 press conference this past weekend, where we had a stoic Sean O'Malley and a back and forth between Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's smoke. So we got a stoic Sean O'Malley up there at the UFC 316 press conference, keeping it real chill, real quiet, real simple, real straight face. Is it a facade? Is Sean really changed? So Sean talked about giving up a lot of different things, giving up the smoking, giving up some other stuff, some gaming, all the stuff that Sean was talking about giving up in focus to this fight. Now, a lot of times that is the right thing to do. A guy's got to lock in, he got to come back, he got to lock in the right way and put the focus on just one thing, right? But is he doing it more as a facade to show people that he's locked in instead of just actually being locked in? I don't know. We will find out when that rematch happens. Obviously, Merab is a hell of a jokester. He likes to have fun with it. He showed up to the press conference in the same Sean O'Malley jacket again. He had Sean O'Malley as a baby, as a pillow on his chest on some Henry Cejudo style shit. He had "I'm Sean's father" or "Sean's daddy" on his hat. So he's definitely trolling Sean. He's having fun with it. And Sean seems super stoic, like he's just focused on getting this win. Is Sean O'Malley capable of getting this W? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't think Sean had to do anything to make the change. I don't think it had to be something of, oh, you got to lock in. He spoke about his injuries going into that fight, and he had injuries going into that fight, and obviously it played a part in it. Do I think Merab's pressure and pace is something that is very difficult for any guy to handle in that division? Absolutely. But I think Sean can end up finding a kill shot against anybody at 135. So that makes Merab no different. And I think a healthy version of Sean, nobody's ever 100% going into the octagon, but they have to have themselves at least maybe mentally 100%, realizing that they can go in there and get this W. And whoever shows up that night is going to get the win. That's obvious, right? But Merab seems to show up every time. Did Sean not show up last time? Was it the injury? What's the case? I don't know. I think Sean is going to bring a better performance to this fight for sure, but Merab continuously gets better. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough no matter how stoic you are, no matter how much you give up. The continuation of the skill set of Merab and the cardio level of Merab is something to behold. With that being said, also with that matchup being made, there was rumors about Umar and Petr Yan being made. So that's a very good matchup that a lot of people want to see at 135, and that could determine who could bounce back to be number one contender again. Any one of those fights in any which way could be interesting. If Umar was able to get Petr Yan out quick, and then Merab was able to beat Sean, maybe get a rematch there. If Sean beats Merab, but Umar wins, Sean and Umar could be a good striking matchup. Could be completely different than anything Sean's really used to, because you got a guy who's going to mix up the wrestling and striking. But then you also have different aspects. If Petr Yan wins, you got the rematch between Petr and Merab. If he wins and Sean wins, you got the matchup between Petr Yan and Sean O'Malley, which is another rematch that a lot of people think Petr Yan won, including myself. I think Petr Yan won that first fight, and I'll be ready to argue with anybody about that. The man landed way heavier strikes, better strikes, more strikes, dropped Sean, made Sean pay in certain situations, just overall controlled the fight. Did Sean have some good moments? 100%. But that was the UFC trying to push this guy up higher. Petr Yan won that fight. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. But you know me, anytime we get to watch the 135-pound division in action, I'm all with it. It's one of the most exciting divisions in the sport. They have fantastic talent in there. And even though this isn't the matchup that people legitimately asked for, Sean and Merab, they're going to put on a good show. Simple as that. In the co-main event between Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison, one is the only championship matchup to make in that division. But I got to talk about Juliana Pena, talking the level that she talks, especially to Kayla Harrison, talking about how Kayla Harrison has fought tomato cans to get to the position where she's at, this and that. Kayla Harrison actually has more wins against ranked opponents, current ranked opponents, than Juliana Pena does. Or, well, I guess Holly's not considered a ranked opponent, but I think at the time, Holly was a ranked opponent when Kayla Harrison won. So Kayla beats her, Kayla beats Ketlin Vieira, and the last win that Juliana Pena had before the whole Amanda Nunes thing was Sarah McCann. It was Sarah McCann. Look, she had a fantastic win over Amanda Nunes. Was it a fluke? No. She just had it that night. Amanda didn't. Amanda clearly didn't show up. But when Amanda did show up, she beat the brakes off her for 5 rounds straight. Yeah, she had a couple decent little moments of success, but Amanda beat the brakes off her for 5 rounds straight, and she has not let that go ever since. She wants that fight back. She'll want it back forever, but Amanda whooped her up. Even if Amanda comes back, I believe that she whoops Juliana Pena up again. It doesn't really matter. The skill set, style, doesn't matter. I think Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. It really just does not matter. Simple as that. But Kayla Harrison is going to bring a extremely tough fight to Juliana Pena, and I think Juliana Pena is sleeping on it. Right? You talk about tomato cans. She ain't fought nobody. She fought who? Nico Montano. She took her to the decision. Sarah McCann. Raquel Pennington. Sorry, not trying to dog these women, but at the same time, these are not impressive wins. The Amanda win, impressive win in certain ways. But the reason I make the sound for the Raquel Pennington fight is not for Raquel. It's the fact that you barely even won that fight. You barely won that fight. You just won that fight. So you talk about Kayla fighting tomato cans, whatever the case may be. She did fight in a different promotion that didn't have many people, right? She didn't have much talent to fight against. You say she ducked Chris Cyborg. Juliana, you wouldn't have fought Chris Cyborg. I promise you that. I promise you that. Look, if Juliana Pena gets past Kayla Harrison, I'll eat my words. I'll shut my mouth. Straight up. I will eat my words. But she's got to get past her in a fashion that's actually like finish her or whoop her ass or just make a statement. You can't put on another performance like you did against Raquel Pennington and just get the decision where a lot of people didn't even believe that you got that decision in the first place. But she talks such a high game for someone who has not fought, she's not that active, and she got gifted the title shot against Raquel Pennington coming off of a loss to Amanda Nunes. An 0-5 type of loss. So, yeah. So alongside of that press conference, there was a couple announcements of some UFC debuts that are going to be happening. Sounds like Aaron Pico has gotten a call to make himself come to the UFC. He's making his way to the UFC. So congratulations to Aaron Pico for that. I don't know who he's going to face. There was rumors against Mosvar. I guess Joe Rogan debunked that during the UFC 314 fights. He said that Mosvar turned that down. He's not taking that. Makes sense. Wouldn't make any sense to fight a guy coming in on his debut who's not a former champion, who's barely even a former ranked fighter in that other promotion. Aaron Pico's just a decently big name and a talented kid who's very young. So we'll see what happens. But that was the first one, and then Kyoji Horiguchi. I think I said his name right. Kyoji Horiguchi. Former one champion is making his way over, and I think he's fighting who was it? If it's even official. I don't know if it's official. No, nothing announced yet. Nothing official for it. I thought there was supposed to be something on it. Oh. Tagir Ulanbekov looks like it's supposed to be fighting. So we'll see if that actually happens. But those are two dope debuts coming to the UFC. So keep an eye out for both of those. For UFC 316, seems like it's going to be a pretty good card. I don't know if it's going to be a pretty good card. The card's, I don't know, not terrible, not great. But the co-main event and the main event, those are going to be two good fights. I just see that Kayla Harrison gets it done against Juliana Pena, whether it's a 5-round decision or getting a submission win. I see Kayla Harrison getting the W, and I honestly do see Sean O'Malley having a lot more success in this fight, with Merab still being able to etch out a decision. But those are my early predictions for UFC 316. We'll see what ends up happening, but those are early predictions. I just had to come through and talk about that, a little reaction and all that from that press conference, because I give Juliana props. She's the only woman in the division, probably the only woman in women's fighting who talks game. She can actually talk a little bit of shit. She tries to dig down into the career. She tries to find stuff. So I give her props on that, but it's going to be a tough one to back up. She really got to back up her words against Kayla Harrison, and Kayla is a dog. So she called Kayla a weight bully. I can't disagree, but at the same time, what you want her to do when there ain't a division for her big ass? Not her fault. She walking around at 195 pounds, looking like Triple H on her off days. It's not her fault. What division you want her to fight in? Welterweight? They don't have one for women. Bantamweight it is. 135. Meet you there. I don't know why I keep talking like that. Alright, well, that's it for this episode. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. I'll catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bandit was out. Peace.